Hello and welcome to Last Attempt, a World of Warcraft Guildcast. I'm your host, Squirrelthug, and today we're going to be discussing some things that are happening in World of Warcraft this week. We have some story covering the light and its effects on the areas surrounding the Sunwell, and some controversial news on Hearthsteel and the monetization model at Blizzard and more broadly speaking, Microsoft has taken with the Midnight expansion. Um, we have our co-hosts today, Shakatan
Yo.
and and Templar. Templar is joining us again. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shakatan, what have you been up to this week in WoW?
Uh, Everything. I don't know. Just did all the M zeros. Basically just stayed on one character. Then I was finishing up all the praise to get a veteran crest because you can do random hard mode praise after you finish your initial 4 to get 15 veteran crests like per kill. So some of those
So you can
I've
farm
been
them.
doing that basically gearing I've been gearing it up. Trying to get to level 3 on it because level 4 is when Nightmare opens up for prey. It's quite a grind.
Is that time locked? Like, is
I
that
don't
going
think
to be
so.
released? You just have to get there and you'll open it up.
Right. Yeah, for hard mode you're getting like 50 points per kill, and level 3 was 3,000
Oh,
points. So, yeah. It's
okay.
pretty rough.
All right. And Templar, what have you been up to this week?
Like Shaq, been doing a lot of Mythic pluses, helping not only myself but everybody else gear. Doing my job as a tank. Been a lot of fun, especially figuring out what the bosses do, both on the fly and if we wipe. Try to strategize. If you've done the Everbloom or the Blinding Veil, excuse me, you know that boss is a real pain in the butt. Um, and trying to form somewhat of a strategy around him was a lot of fun. Other than that, leveling up my alt, my I don't know if I'll say primary, but the one I've been focusing on is my enhancement shaman. She is about 86, so only a little bit to go. And I was just trying to take advantage of the Dark Moon Fair experience bonus and also spending hundreds of thousands of gold in getting all of my professions up. So uh, just doing all kinds of things and trying to get everything to where I can go back to making some good gold.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of gold to spend. So but are you crafting now and making that gold back?
Yeah, the good news is I am for blacksmithing. The biggest thing that both sells and what people need right now are the profession tools. So I
Hmm.
focused most of the points in blacksmithing for the profession tools, and then after that, I'll head back into weaponsmithing. I know Stram, I made him a weapon, and that's going to be the thing that everybody else, including myself, is going to need. So.
Okay. Yeah, I know crafted weapons are some of the fastest way to some decent player power early on, especially right at the beginning of a season.
Yep, definitely.
How
Yeah.
about you?
Well, I have actually only logged on a couple times just to try to get through the Zolomon storyline. I typically go through the story and whatever the expansion story is, even if it doesn't level me up, with my main Squirrelthug, and then I'll go and I'll level the rest of my characters in a priority order. But I've had so little time to play, and I've gotten so busy this last week, and so the new tactic is that I'm just gonna finish up the storyline in Zolomon because I'm pretty close to the end of it with my main, and then I'm gonna jump over to a rogue that I'm gonna raid with, and I'm just gonna grind some delves or dungeons or I don't know, whatever the tactic is. So I would like to try to get to level cap before Tuesday, and then that way I can like get a few things in the vault, get some of those things filled out before we get the reset. But we'll see.
Well, the good news is that we've all been doing M plus, so we can, of course, just speed you through them, get you the gear that you need. And as far as experience is concerned, the best strategy is to do sort of like uh, the primary storyline in Eversong until you do the first delve. Once that delve, you finish it and finish the quest associated with it. You can then go to the other delves and get the delve quest there, and you finish the delves doing the delve quest, but you don't turn in the delve quest until you're about 88. And
Oh,
that way,
nice.
because of the way the experience scales, basically you go from 88 to 90 or almost there,
Turning in all
just
the
by
delve
turning.
quests.
Yep.
Okay, nice.
You just have to remember to turn in the first delve quest, which screwed me up. So I ended up doing like all of Eversong when I didn't need to.
Hmm.
So just do that one, make sure that one's done, and then save up the other ones.
Okay. And so it's really just grinding delves until you get to about 88.
Well, it's doing the delves to get the experience. So let's say even if you're 81, as long as you have the quest complete, and you do the quest from the delve, don't turn in the quest in. Just to
Just
you
finish the
still get a
delve.
lot of
Keep
you
on
still get a
leveling
lot of
up.
it.
Yeah.
Are they doing parties like custom groups and such to grind out delves?
Not really. It's not so much grinding the delves over and over again. It's just doing it once, getting the XP, finishing the quest, saving the quest, and then once you hit 88 from doing normal, uh, quests
Questing?
for the storyline, yeah, whether it's
Okay.
the
Like
side
the main
quests or
story?
anything. hmm Then you get the experience from that. Then when you hit 88, turn in the quests.
Okay. So like a world tour would be pretty good to do. Just like
Yeah,
hit them all in a loop and then go back to questing.
precisely.
Okay. All right. I think I got my plan. I'm gonna try to grind that out and get that done. That'll be fun. I used to do that with some of the older expansions. Several years ago when I was a young lad, and or just lose a lot of sleep and just grind it out and just really really get in there with a character. And
Right.
I thought I was gonna take it real easy this time, but yeah, we're gonna pull that out, pull that tactic out of the closet, dust it off.
Yeah,
Um,
and the good news is, even so, what we discovered too is even if, let's say, me and Shaq already did all of the M0s for the week, apparently you still get, um, how do I put this? Even though we wouldn't get loot, which, makes sense, apparently people are getting like multiples for the players that can get loot. So let's say all
oh,
four of us have already done it, can't get any loot. Apparently, if you would it with us and you can get loot, you can get multiple pieces of loot per the dungeon.
nice. That's pretty
You get
great.
funneled. Yeah.
hmm
I, that's kind of how people like played it anyway. So I hope that's not a bug and by design.
Right.
I think they would have fixed it by now, hot fixed it by now if they had an issue with it. I know they put several hot fixes out this week, so that's something that they would have easily caught.
Okay. Yeah, well that's good to know. That's a great way also that feels very alt friendly. And with certain guilds, people do tend to try to gear up their ults and stuff, and that makes that a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Okay. Wanted to get a guild recruitment announcement out there. We are still recruiting. We've got another week lockout before rating starts, and then I believe we have another week after that until Mythic is unlocked. So we got a little bit of time before that, but we are recruiting all roles: healer, DPS, tank. It's preferable to have players who are flexible on those roles, and we do raid Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Pacific. Right now, we don't have any progress on any of the bosses, obviously, because we're just preseason gearing. And if you would like to join, we have a link in the Discord, and or we have a channel in the Discord, and there's a link to the Discord in the description, so you can check it out there. We want to get to the news for this week, and first item on our list is Midnight Season 1 begins March 17th, and that's basically like one lockout away. And I guess there are some players who are arguing that there's a difference between the launch of Mythic Plus and the I guess the raid when the season kicks off. And so, how do you guys feeling about that? Did you know about the staggered approach?
Yeah, I think we actually discussed it quite a bit and how it's, different than what they've previously done. Normally, they would have already either had M plus or and you couldn't even do M zeros. But with the more staggered approach, I think it's actually a good thing. Just as an example, being with you, Squirrelthug, just the, not having time to get everything done that you can, and having 2 weeks to do it instead of just 1 week. Uh, my guess is that they are still have the approach of, people's lives are changing with the game, and therefore having the extra amount of time helps, everyone. So I'm actually glad about that. And of course, we won't be getting all the raids all at once. We'll be getting I believe it's the two, and then the third one, which just has one boss. We'll get that at a later date. So I'm still excited about it. I still think it's a good approach to what they're doing, and kind of can't wait.
Yeah, I believe March of Qualdanas should be launching at the end of March.
Yeah.
Gonna make a race to world first pretty interesting since they have a lot of time. All
Yeah,
the
I am
guilds.
I am curious now that you brought that up, are they going to have a world first sort of complete achievement, like all three raids? Are they just going to go for world first for the first one? Sort of a if they have a meta achievement or not.
Right. Yeah. 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 I don't know. It'll be really interesting to see how they do that up.
Yeah, so do we know who's actually in the running for the world first? I know they broadcast it. I actually, the first one I watched was for the War Within.
Okay. I'm sure the usual players are going to be there. You know.
I think Liquid was one of them.
Yeah. Echo, Method.
Okay, and
The top three are definitely going to be there.
how many? How do we know how many people are competing? Is it like Is it just you just follow whoever and everyone is broadcasting for their own team, or is there like a centralized place to watch?
Right. So they run in EU and North America. So like, you know, a lot of the time they're staggered, because one team is sleeping while another team is going. But I think it's Echo and Method are both EU, if I'm not mistaken. So I think they both have their respective channels. I Temp does Blizz doesn't have like their own yet. You go to like each team's YouTube, right? Or their Twitch.
Yeah, generally speaking, they don't like Blizzard doesn't have a central broadcast for the Race to World first, but both teams not only have announcers, they also have coverage just in general about whoever is going at the same time. For example, whenever they got to Dimensius, I was actually sort of ping ponging between both broadcasts. This was really the first time I was ever looking at uh, the Race to World first, just because I saw how close it was. And they were actually had Echo stream in Liquids, like in a little picture in picture, and vice versa. And both were talking about each other's progress, and we all know the whole echo percentage out of 10 or 100 for Dimensius. Still feel bad seeing that,
Yeah.
but yeah, generally they show each other's stream to an extent just to see whenever everybody is or where everybody's at and what their progress is, especially if both teams are awake at the time.
Oh yeah, that's right. The last one we had two of the teams that were staggered. Like when one was sleeping, the other one was awake because they were on the other side, opposite sides of the world, right?
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was an interesting, interesting race. Seeing that happen, especially if you're sleeping and the other team gets it while you're sleeping. That would just that would feel bad.
Right. And you'll see teams sometimes they're like, oh well, it's so down to the wire, right? They're gonna be pulling like an all-nighter,
Oof.
if it gets like too crazy.
But then you start
Yeah.
getting diminishing returns because you're tired.
Yep.
I mean, there is that. Yeah.
So you got to know when to like pull off and get some sleep and get back at it. That's
Yep.
interesting. You know, the logistics behind that. I know they have what do they call it? The 21st raid member where there's like another person, a shot caller, who's like watching everybody stream.
Right. Well, yeah, like in Liquid they have Maximilian. He's basically their raid lead, He just kind of oversees the whole thing and does all the major call outs.
That's pretty cool. And that kind of leaves everyone who's like actually raiding to just focus on performance. And you have somebody else
Right.
who's focusing on logistics and like calling people out by name and shit. That's kind of cool.
They also make sure to have catering, so that's one advantage that they have over
Yes.
any raid team other than the top two.
And they have their energy drink sponsorships.
Yep.
They're
Running on
drinking Monster
caffeine.
all day.
Nice. Okay, that's gonna be interesting. I think I'm gonna try to follow. I think probably like some like maybe the top three or something. Maybe jump between those. I know this last one I was only watching um like one. I forget who it was even, but somebody shared it in one of the Discord channels, so I took a look and it was interesting to see people. I mean, especially understanding that they don't have very much gear at the time that they go in there, and that's kind of insane.
Right, right. And they'll do normal and heroic runs. Well, mostly heroic runs, and they'll do like funneling where the community can actually come in and you won't get any gear, but you can help a team. Basically what they'll do is they'll funnel the gear that would have been given to you to another team member so they can get all their team, like their best in slots.
Okay, so how does that work? They'll go run a dungeon and they bring people in
A
that
raid.
oh,
They'll do it on raid.
on like a normal
And
raid, like a
gear
heroic or normal?
like a heroic raid, yep. And gear that would have normally went to you. I don't know how they do it exactly. If it's on alts and stuff like that, they have like the people have like their alts that they bring to the raid, and so they're trying to like, they'll have like three of the same class, like one one of their team members, right? Like, let's just say, like, for example, like fired up their mage or something, he'll probably have like 3 mages, right? And
Wow, what?
the
That's
the way
crazy.
that the drops work, they'll try to push as much gear onto one character as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've also know I don't remember what tier it was, but in the past they've also called essentially for donations, at least for Liquid, since North American team. That's the one I saw, but they were actually calling for gold donations to help them buy stuff off the auction house, and not just mats, but like BOEs and everything. So, uh, you know, whatever they can do to succeed, they try their best.
That's kind of cool, especially because it is in a little bit of a way. It's almost there's like some national pride, right? Because I know Chinese teams are usually trying to compete for that as well. And if I'm not mistaken, like there was a reward. I don't know who was giving it out. I don't know if it was the Chinese government, but maybe it was like a smaller portion. I don't know. But there was a reward, like a cash reward for a lot of money, if a Chinese team would win world first in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, there
You know,
was, and I think it's still there, right, Jack?
w-
Because they haven't won yet.
sorry, they haven't won yet. Right, right. Well, they just got World of Warcraft back, not too long
Hmm.
ago. And I know there was some of those Chinese guilds were getting pretty close in the last race to World First. I forgot what their names are, but I was about to look it up because I knew like they would have they would have come into question.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting, especially with was it Liquid is the American team?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
with them calling out for like donations and such. That's kind of cool. Like if I had a BOE, I think I'd probably donate it, send it over or something, just because it's like, hey, I want the American team to win.
Right.
Right.
It's like the Olympics, the Blizzard Olympics. That's great, right? um, so before we move on to the next bit of news that we have, I did want to cover a really useful add-on. This used to be a weak aura. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Miyu's Knowledge Points Tracker add-on. You should be able to find it on CurseForge very easily. It's spelled Miyu is spelled MYU''S, and it basically gives you a list. It'll automatically detect which professions you have, and there's a bunch of ways to get knowledge points, which allow you to put points into your talent trees, and you have like specialization trees in your professions. And depending on you want, which part of the season you're in, which part of the expansion you're in, sometimes you want to focus on certain things, and having more knowledge points allows you to do that, as well as branch into maybe other things that are very helpful. I know Templar was talking about focusing on profession tools initially, and an add-on like this would allow you to go find all of the available knowledge points, and they're like treasures and such. And it's easy enough as clicking on one of the items on the list, and it'll give you coordinates on the map and help you find these items. And I believe you can also like look them up on Wowhead, and there's usually some comments that are helpful in helping you find it if it's maybe obscured in some way. But did you guys ever use that add-on, or actually the weak aura before?
I have not. I have used Handy Notes and um TomTom and GatherMate too,
Okay.
and a lot of that it'll put markers on the map to where all those purple items are to increase your knowledge and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, I've used it maybe once or twice. I tried it back when the WeakAura was there, but I've actually been using it now that it's in a add-on form. The biggest thing that changed it for me is just being able to, and maybe this was with the WeakAura, but since it's an add-on, they've added mini map sort of functionality, so you can just hide it or show it whenever you want. And it's been really good in terms of accuracy of actually showing what's on the map, because Handy Notes still hasn't updated the proper positions. So really good add-on.
Yeah. I've used it before, but really only at the beginning of the War Within. I don't know if they add more knowledge points as the expansion goes on. Um, but I do know that I kind of used it to get all the knowledge points I could for, I think, 4 or 5 of my characters. But it was really easy because I have engineering on all of them, and then just a different profession for each of them. So it's like I have one slot taken up. So all the engineering ones were really easy to get because I just memorized them, and then I never used it again.
Right,
Right.
right. But yeah, they usually, whenever the expansion or new patch comes, and let's say we go to a different zone or something,
Like
they'll
Koresh.
have maybe, yeah, like Koresh, they'll have 3 or more extra profession items. But I think
Oh,
with Koresh, since it was at the end, they didn't have it. But there's only like a few more, and it'll add maybe like 9, maybe 10 skill points toward it. It's not a lot, but it's still good.
okay. That's interesting. It's good to know. And then I'll probably keep that add-on around. Seems pretty like it'd be pretty useful at the beginning of any patch, really. Any season, probably.
Definitely.
All right. So for the next thing we have on our news items here, Hearthsteel housing and shop controversy. We have a few things that were sold or put up in the store by Blizzard. We had a pack of 4 mounts, and if you bought, you can buy any one of them for $25, which is a standard price for a mount on the shop. But then if you, because they're kind of a grouping, they're all flying squirrels, which, if I'm being honest, is quite possibly the most amazing thing I've ever seen on the shop. I've been waiting for a squirrel mount for so long, and honestly, I never considered that it would be a flying mount and it would be a flying squirrel. And just the animation and the art, they're amazing. I love all of them. I did buy it. I'm a sucker for that. They got me, and I don't even feel bad about it. But there are a lot of people who thought it was interesting that not along with that pack, because if you buy all 4 of them in a pack, it's only $50, which is the price of 2 mounts instead of 4. So if you're gonna buy more than one, then it's kind of, you should just get the pack, right? They had another pack of Cozy Kobold collection, so there's like some cosplay, some art, outfits for kobolds. They had like 3 more decor packs, and they had some starter decor packs as well, where you get a Horror and Alliance, a doormat, and then some Hearthsteel. So kind of dropping a bunch of things onto the shop that are in support of Hearthsteel. So they're giving you, sort of a discount on Hearthsteel and the mats. If you were to buy them individually, you're sort of saving like $3 or so buying that pack there, and it puts you in a position to not only get some decor, but you have Hearthsteel. Now you have enough Hearthsteel to then spend on some of the stuff in the shop that they just put in there, like some cherry blossom trees. But with that, there was some controversy where the initial launch of a spring blossom tree was 750 Hearthsteel, which is $7.50 for one singular digital tree. And the backlash
Ouch.
from the community, yeah, was loud, and immediately Blizzard it took that back, and they also made the claim that it was an error, and that was not the intended price for what they wanted, and they adjusted it. It's only, I think, 250 Hearthsteel now, so it's $2.50. And if you buy the 750 Hearthsteel uh, price range item pack, then you're getting 3 of the trees. So it's interesting that they took that approach, and I think they it was a very quick turnaround for the price change, Do you buy Blizzard's explanation that the Spring Blossom tree was just incorrectly priced?
Well, I mean, I'll just say that the changes that they made to it after the fact, I mean, they even give you what? They give you 4 trees or something like that
3.
now for the 3 trees for for the smaller price. Yeah, I mean, they could have just kept it at 1 tree, right? Unless they're playing, damage control, but um, they could have left it at $2.50 for 1 tree, but they gave you 3 trees. Um, so maybe it was an error. That's my opinion.
Yeah, for me, I think number one, a singular tree, even for the reduced price of 250, would have been too much. So I'm glad to
Yeah.
see that you get 3 of them. But I'm in the camp that it definitely was them getting kind of caught with their pants down, and everybody noticed. Because I mean, I just don't see how you can release something a whopping $5 extra, and just it sort of is beyond credulity that it was like that. And I'm hoping that this doesn't start a trend of overpricing things and then taking it back whenever players complain even just a little bit.
Yeah, we definitely wouldn't want to see things like that happen. I don't think that I'm not really sure what I think about the pricing. It was interesting to know that there was an official blue post that stated that there was a pricing error. And I know that their store has had some interesting errors before, certain things that were like priced um, in an odd way. But it does seem that it can go either way. On one hand, they have released quite a bit of items all at once, and perhaps there were some opinions or some decisions that were made, um, and the last minute changes that were needed to be made before they went live didn't get changed. So there's always a chance that they didn't intend for it to be that price, and like or at least it was intended to be that price somewhere along the development, but that last check to lower the price before everything went live to bring it in line with because they changed the price for nothing else. So it's odd that
Right.
there's this one pack that was
Right.
over whatever else the threshold seems to be, and so perhaps that could have been earlier in the cycle for whatever pipeline they have to get these things out, and they're dropping multiple packs all at once. I guess there's a chance that either they are like, okay, we'll leave this and we'll test it and we'll see what happens, or they did decide, hey, we should bring that down, and that change just didn't go live in time. But I think this sets a precedent, and from going forward, we are going to have things that are going to be similarly priced. But what I noticed is there were some Easter items, and I don't know. I haven't checked, but I don't know that we're getting any eggs or any cute little Easter items or anything in game.
Yeah, that's actually a good question because we don't know what they'll have on the Easter NPCs or anything. The only thing that I can think of is that Noble Garden still requires what 3 or 4 more years to fully get the what is it, the bunny transformation item. So I forget what the calculation on that is, but hopefully it won't be like that with the Hearthsteel.
Oh yeah, definitely. um, did you? Was any of the new items that were dropped into the store in this last week any of it of interest to any of you guys? Of course, the squirrels. They got me. I'm a sucker for squirrels. I can't help it.
For me,
Uh,
oh,
go
go ahead,
ahead.
Shaq.
No, I'm not good. Go ahead, bro.
Okay. Um, for me, actually, the cherry blossom trees are something I want. It's just I don't know if it's necessarily worth the money. I know I joked in guild with Kyressa that Blizzard's attitude is probably like, well, it's cheaper than going to Japan, see the cherry blossoms bloom. But definitely those. The squirrels look good. Again, don't know if I will plop down the money, but at the very least, I will say that the Hearthsteel starting pack I think is a good deal, because then you can choose whatever you want with it.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't.
I
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I got bills to pay, so none of it's on my radar.
I didn't really see any of the decor items that interested me, but what I did notice was that a lot of the packs were distinct from each other, which I know that some of the conversations that I've seen happening have to do with how much is being dropped. So that, let's say, if you, as a single person, wanted to buy all of them, every single item, and you want to get them all, you'd be spending over $100. But when I look at all the items, see like I don't see like a running theme through all of this. Where if you were somebody who was really into Void and you wanted all of the Void stuff that they just dropped, you would have to spend over $100. Like, that's not the case here. They are just clearly spending more development time on developing these things, and but that can also be said about Midnight as well. So I think it's almost expected to see the shop and some of these other things scale up, as if anybody has noticed, Midnight is kind of a much bigger expansion than we've gotten before.
Yeah, and the questing does provide you with just a sheer ton of free housing decor and everything. So that's definitely a positive.
Not only housing decor, but in terms of development time, like, feels like playing Star Wars: The Old Republic. When that released, everyone had a voice line. I mean, like, everything was voiced, and it was like, oh, this is very expensive, obviously. Um,
Right.
it
Yeah,
feels
because
like that now with all the voice lines.
yeah, I think I mentioned that to you. Just how the sheer dearth of not just voice lines, but in-game cinematics, as well as, I would say it's sort of like half between a in-game and a expansion cinematic, where they have upgraded models for the characters and stuff. It's been a real joy to go through and everything.
So, on to our next news items. I wanted to bring attention to two world events that are now live. We have Legends of the Hyronir, a weekly story quest series about the new allied race, and the Abundance event, where players harvest materials to honor Dun Dun, the Loa, for crafting reagents and including fused vitality. There's also two new Hawkstrider mounts. I believe they drop from Magister's Terrace and Windspire Runner. I looked at the models on Wowhead, and for whatever reason, the two models are just, they look like a white Hawkstrider with armor. Looks very cool. Looks awesome. But the spectral version, it has spectral in its name. It is an identical model, and it just has a glowing spell effect where its chest armor piece is. The chest armor piece is the exact same as the other one. This one just has this added spell effect. I don't know if that's some sort of mix-up or if that's the actual amount that we're getting, but both of them are basically identical, and I think that that's really weird. And then they've hotfixed the key to the Arcantina, because it used to be a 1.5 minute cooldown, which, you know, 1.5 minutes to get back to Silvermoon is a really fast Hearthstone. So now it's 15,
Yeah.
15 minutes. Did you guys take advantage of that key before they hotfixed it?
No.
Yeah, I didn't even I didn't even know about. I don't think I've unlocked it yet.
Yeah, same thing for me is no. Since they changed the human racials to give us a second shard and a Hearthstone, I didn't even think about it or really think it was necessary or anything. So, you know, didn't really affect me. I will say that I don't know if you knew about this, Awen, but the first time we did an M0, it was Magister's Terrace, and I actually got the White Hawkstrider mount.
Oh, nice. Okay, so, but you got the regular one, not the spectral one, right?
Unfortunately,
Right.
yeah, because I think the Spectral one does look better.
Okay,
And so did
so
our other tank. Scourge got it on this
okay,
Oh,
so
did
Spectral.
you've
he?
seen somebody
Yeah.
with the spectral Hawkstrider in
I
game.
have not.
Same, not for me. It's just the white one, the normal.
Oh, okay, well, you said Scourge had gotten it. You just saw that he
He
got it.
got the white one.
You didn't see him when he
I
mounted
was
up on
with
it.
him. No, he got the white one. He got the same one that Temp did when I ran it
Oh,
the
okay.
dungeon for the first
Yeah,
time.
because I looked it up on Wowhead, and the model that they have is not spectral.
Hmm.
It's literally the exact same one. It just has a spell effect where the chest piece is, but like it's the armor's
Oh,
still there.
I see what you mean now. That's really weird. Yeah, because if
I
you look at
don't
it,
know what that's about.
yeah, if you look at it in game, the whole Hawkstrider is in fact ghostly, like armor
Oh,
and all.
never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, then we should trust that. Then that's like a Wowhead error. Then
Yeah, I
They
have
might not
no
be able to
idea.
display it correctly or something.
that's pretty cool. So it's like the bluish kind of and it's transparent.
Yeah, let me get you a screenshot from in game.
It's kind of ghostly. It's kind of like white ghostly. It's not like I don't
Not like
remember
the
seeing much blue
classic
in it.
spectral. Because the classic
It's
spectral animations are usually kind of dang.
There you go.
You zoomed all the way out. Oh no, wait, I was like, I thought you were writing it. Okay. Yeah, that's actually a lot different than what spectral mounts usually look like. I don't know if you guys know, but like
yeah, it's not blue.
yeah, there was Hunters also had a series of spectral beasts that they could get, and it was the same kind of color for a while.
It's more like ghostly,
Yeah,
like not ghostly, but it's just like kind of transparent.
yeah, yeah. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. I yeah, man. I hope I get both of them. They look awesome. Have you
Yeah,
guys?
and
Oh, sorry. Go
I
ahead.
was just I was just gonna say all the Hawkstriders, the new ones look really cool. There's also a red one that I think that's from. Oh no, that's from Reputation. That looks really good. It's red with like purple tipped wings. They have the a blue one that's more like. I'm sorry. Yeah, blue one that's like cerulean. Uh, I think they did a good job on having not only the variety but the coloring on them.
There was an incredible one from last expansion, right? The one that had like a
Oh,
cosmic
yeah.
layer to its feathers, I guess,
Yeah,
or maybe
that
an
one's
armor or
Oh,
something.
awesome.
the Void Elf one.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's a white
okay.
elf one.
Yeah, okay. Well, for anyone who hasn't seen that, go look at that because and then go get a void elf because that is. I still haven't leveled one. I gotta go and do those. But ever since I saw that, I wanted to
Oh,
go make a void
the
elf.
good the good news is you don't have to level one. It's just unlocking it.
So I just need
And
to unlock it with the quest line when you unlock the void elves.
yes, and I believe that might have been from Dragonflight. I have to double check that.
Oh, okay, that'll make it easy. Have you guys taken part of the world events, Legends of the Harnir or the Abundance event?
I have done the Void Spire one. What is it called? Singaba. Let me
Oh
look
yeah,
it
it had
up
a really
here.
weird name.
It's
Um,
oh, I don't have it unlocked. Stormarion.
yeah,
Stormarion, it's called.
that's what it
I
was.
actually Temp and I did that together.
Hmm.
It's cool. It's kind of like it's just like a tower defense basically. It's like you've got forces coming in from all the different sides, and people can set up traps and stuff. At the different choke points. Um, and then there's some like daily quests around in the area that you can do. Um, and I
What are the
forgot what you get.
rewards that
I
you get
forgot
from?
what the reward was.
Oh,
Yeah,
any armor maybe?
Temp might know.
I think it was a cache similar to what you would get with the
Bleeding in
abundance.
dungeon.
Yeah, one of the weekly adventure caches or whatever that give you. Well, for right now, I think is it veteran gear still? I think.
Yeah, I think it is veteran gear. Yeah, champions only on like the rep grind stuff.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
there
yeah.
are 4 champion pieces that you can get from 4 different reputations if you level them, right?
Right. Oh, so
Mhm.
yeah, you do get you do get the you get a trinket. You get if you got a so it's part of the you get the reputation in Voidspire, you get that up to level 7, and then it unlocks a quest that you have to do, which takes you into the event so you can get the champion trinket.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's that's great. Yeah,
No,
that'll
no, not
be
brain farting.
something to focus on. Yeah,
Yeah, for
getting all
sure.
those, just kind of go through and get each of those reputations up, and do they seem to be easy to get those reputations up with like events like this where you can just grind rep?
I think for the events, I'm not sure if you can constantly do them, uh,
No.
Well, okay, so I
I
guess is it like a really hard climb to cap or at least reach the ability to get those champion pieces?
Yeah, it's level 8 on most of the on three three of them. It's level 8 that you have to
Oh,
get to. You know, for me, the grind wasn't too bad except for the Herondar area, which I'm if you have an alt, if you play on your alts, once you get to level 90, I think it's a lot easier to get that rep up by doing the quests again because you're going to get the rep through the quests. Um, but also just grabbing like all the little extra doodads in the area. Like there's a lot of lookout points in each zone. And I think those award like 150 per, and then
Mhm.
getting the rares and stuff like that are can be anywhere from like 50 to 150 per rare, depending on the difficulty of the rare. So yeah, you just do the quest, grab all the goodies. I don't know. It's not too bad. I'd say
okay.
you could definitely get it within a week.
That's good. That's good to
Yeah,
know.
more to add to Shaq's point is that once you go through the story quest for the main campaign on your main, you can then on your alt uh, just do the side quests, and the side quests themselves give rep. So once you complete the main campaign, you can't get any more rep from the main campaign if you do it on an alt. So then you focus on more on the side quests and do that.
Okay. Well, that's a good plan. Because I'm writing all this down. I need to get all my rep up. I need to grind a single character up as fast as I can, and yeah, hopefully, I mean, I'm sure I'll get it by the end of the next week and the lockout. Um, Moving on to some more news, I wanted to talk about an interesting sort of, I don't know if it's a collaboration, but there is a Canadian rapper, and I do not know how to say his name. I've never really listened to any music from him, but it's BBNO and then a dollar sign. So maybe BB knows. Oh, looks like it's trying to spell a word. Uh, couldn't tell you. I did watch the music video. I thought it was interesting, and I'm sure that the people who like his music probably loved it because I think he's also. It's not a secret that he plays WoW. It's kind of like part of his identity, as far as I could tell. So I'm sure his fans loved it. Personally, I did not like the song at all, but I think it's interesting that Blizzard IPs are kind of overlapping in different ways with other parts of culture again.
Yeah, and we've discussed this last week about uh, Microsoft, hopefully, not just Blizzard themselves, putting more into advertising and just interacting with fans again. I mean, BlizzCon was gone for what, 2 years, and this will be the first BlizzCon since then. So, uh, again, very, very good to see, very hopeful that they'll that this will put more, how do I put it, more money in their pockets to do better and bigger things. So just good around. And for me, I personally don't like rap. So as far as
I
any,
actually do like rap. I just don't like this one.
gotcha. But it's good to see and hear that, that they're doing these more social sort of fan connections.
I did like that. Yeah, I didn't. It's not my cup of tea. That's all it is. Like I understand that it's probably really close to the kind of music that he already makes, and if I'm not mistaken, he's like actually like a pretty popular um, musician, and so it's really cool to see World of Warcraft in pop culture again, right? Like it feels like Microsoft is kind of pushing the brand out into everything now, which I think is a really good idea.
Definitely.
I wanted to talk about the light. I've heard some conversations about, um, I don't know, some people are really upset with how certain characters who are primarily like light driven are behaving in either erratic or just like very different ways than players may have like expected. And I don't know, my thoughts on it were sort of that Zeltath has kind of made it very known that she's been planning all of this for a really long time, and she kind of works on longer time scales than mortals do. She kind of has this foresight about certain things because of the depth of her planning and such, right? And so nobody really knew that the Sunwell was going to do that, but it seems that Zaltath did. And I noticing the effect that it had on the light bloom and the sort of the wildlife and everything, and then seeing in more sentient beings how the light is affecting them. It kind of makes sense in this thread that they're creating here. But I don't know that a lot of players like really get it. I think they're just like really upset that some of their favorite characters are dicks now.
Well, they're becoming zealotrous, right?
Hmm.
The light is kind of I don't want to say blinding, but you know, uh it's like Scarlet Crusade, right? If you think about it, it's like, kind of letting it
In the
maybe
way
there's a
that they
balance to be
act,
had or
yeah.
something, right?
Because
Yeah.
the Scarlet Crusade are definitely zealots, um, but I think like the distinction here is maybe that like those they're kind of doing it on their own. The Scarlet Crusade are actual racists, and they actually hate like some of these other races, and they want to like cleanse the earth or Azeroth or whatever, right?
Right.
Whereas the characters that we're seeing right now, like Terrellian, right? Him being um not like he's a paladin. He's supposed to represent the light and be just and such, right? And we're seeing them go in kind of a different direction, and even to the point of having some of the I think one of the light um, someone from the light army, the army of light, is a boss, right? That we're going to be fighting and defeating. And so but I think it makes sense because of the reaction that we're getting from the Sunwell, right? The way that it's almost overreacting in like this really aggressive way to stop the void storm, which seems necessary to that point. But we have other characters who are telling us right in the beginning of the story, hey, for the time that this has been around, it has never done this. I've never heard of it doing this. This is completely different. And then we kind of move through the stories surrounding Silvermoon, and we kind of see just a repeat of that thread over and over, just trying to remind the player that this is abnormal, and it hasn't ever really happened before. And so it just seems like an insidious plan, definitely
Hmm.
intentionally done by Zaltath. Whereas I think some players are seeing it as like bad writing. I just don't think it's that.
I don't think it's bad writing at all. No, it's all intentional for sure. I think as much as the void presses on, the light is fighting back at the same time, like very, very hard, right?
Yeah.
Even to a negative effect, like let's say, in Eversong, where the plants and everything are getting activated and light forged and stuff like that, right? But they're also attacking the environment around them. Um, it's I think it's just the light fighting back on how much the void or the shadow, is pressing.
Yeah, it could even be the equivalent of, since we know and have, a lot of speculation on who or what Azeroth is, it's possible that it could even be like in our own bodies, we have antibodies, and those antibodies are what kill the disease. And it's possible that Azeroth herself, with all of how the light is reacting, is almost acting like a overambitious antibody, trying to get the void off of it and to purge itself of it. But I will say that as far as like Turalian is concerned, we do see at the end of the Erator storyline more why he's like that and what his thinking is. As for the other people, yeah, don't really they don't really get a ending save for the boss you spoke of. Of course, we don't want to give out any spoilers, but it would be nice to see Turalian saying like, "Hey, I was wrong, and Light's Vanguard needs to, kind of back off and realize that what they're doing, they were at least trying to do good, but obviously our intentions ended up being bad."
I think it's gonna be all the way until um the last Titan, till we get some resolution for some of these things. Maybe this whole aggressive light angle is wrapped up in this, but because of the trilogy, and I think we spoke about this before on maybe the War Within recap podcast, but we were speaking about kind of how interesting it is for the writers to be able to weave threads over several expansions and not be cut off at the end of an expansion, and some of these maybe less important storylines just get kind of abandoned. Like we have a lot of threads that have never been picked up again in the classic world and some of the old continents. So maybe in Northrend, when we go back for the last Titans, some of the storylines that we didn't get to finish there, they're going to get picked up again, and we're going to get some sort of resolution for that. And I think it's really interesting that over the course of a trilogy, they can do something like that. Like we're not going to get a resolution for this in the same way that last expansion we didn't get a resolution with Xal'atath. She beat us every step of the way.
Right. And we're seeing just a lot of attention, I think, that like you've alluded to, that we haven't seen before. We haven't seen a uh, perspective look at it. We haven't seen more of a plan for the way the story happens. And hopefully with the not just the trilogy at the end, but I think they've said that maybe, and I could be mistaken, that maybe they're going to go this way again once the trilogy finishes. Maybe another 3 expansion trilogy. But whatever they do, it's obvious that they're a lot better at weaving these things in and out for a game that has been going on now for 20 plus years.
Yeah, I'm excited to get to the next expansion, but this one so far has been really impressive with the storytelling, with everything that we've gotten. I feel like we've got in a lot of different ways, not just one way. Like it's not just more raids or better music or better quests or more things to collect. It's like all of these things in almost every single way that I like to enjoy World of Warcraft is being expanded. So I feel like I'm getting a much bigger expansion than I've ever gotten before.
Right.
For sure. Hey, can I just say, this is like completely random, but I don't know if you guys have like played the Herondir yet or like seen their eyes. Blizzard did a really good job of them having cat-like eyes that reflect the light back at you when you look at them straight on, but not from the side.
Wow.
Oh, really?
I just thought it was a really nice
That's
touch.
so
Yeah.
cool. I can't wait. I'm gonna make one. I thought I was gonna race change Aowen, but I think I'm gonna power level another one and make that another healer. And then I can have four druids. But
I feel it, bro.
dude, it looks that's even cooler. I was really excited about starting a Harnier. But that's amazing. I love that
Yeah.
they're doing that with the art because I think that just means that we're going to get that for the rest of the races. You know, we're going to get some really good detailed um, models because I think some of the models are in line for an upgrade, right? Because they kind of do it in a cycle
Yeah, they kind of do it, and yeah,
because they
a few
staggered
at a
them.
time.
They
Mm-hmm.
staggered them over years. I think Cataclysm was the first time we got some models that were really, really high definition, and because they had went back and grabbed a couple races and brought them up to Cataclysm level, and then as they go on with each expansion, the model that got pulled from Classic and upgraded was even better than like the last expansion, and so it just sort of became this like rolling upgrade wheel.
Right, right. Yeah, and the Heron Dare, they've got their customization options are just, you know,
That's what I'm waiting. I can't wait for. I want to. I want to go through and see all the fun customization because that's kind of that's been a lot more fun in the game now that we have a lot of customization when you're creating a character. I think with those games that offer that customization, that's almost like some of the most important part of creating that character is the ability to really customize it, and that kind of sits in your mind, you know.
right. Characters are
Yeah.
now more looking like an actual like, high-end NPC, like a major like lore piece, right? And now player characters are up to that level,
Yeah, like the new Jaina
Mm-hmm.
or Kalia Menethil.
Right.
Yeah, some of those models look really good, you know. But like people will go, "Oh, hey, I want her coat." It's like, well, that's not a coat. That's like the model. It's all one piece. You know, these
Right,
Right.
NPCs
right.
that we have. So it's cool that they're bringing that design, that level of fidelity and definition to the characters that we're getting now.
Mm-hmm. And asymmetry,
Hmm.
which is really nice.
Yeah, for me, I just really wish that they would allow all one-handed weapons to holster on your back. Just,
They're always on the hilt.
except for a couple. For example, I know there is the one axe from Wrath of the Lich King that can go on your back, as well as the one that I have equipped is the Seaborn Blade. I believe it was a trader's tender for a month, but I just love to put like the replica lion's blade that was from the Warcraft movie and holster that on the back.
Okay, because I know some of them are on the back by default, right?
Yeah, but it's only a very select few.
Okay, yeah. That'll be interesting. Now that we've got a new transmog system in Midnight, there seems to be a lot of opportunities for customization in the way that you're explaining because how I believe they're a lot more lenient with the types of weapons that you're allowed to like transmog to. So I'll be holding like an axe and a dagger, and they don't care, like because my transmog is two lightsabers.
Right, except if you're a druid, you still have problems with the legendaries not working, I think.
I thought they said that they were going to fix that.
Yeah, I believe they're going to fix it. It's just that
Okay.
they haven't yet.
Okay, that's good that they're working on it. It just means that they'll get to it eventually. It is what it is. I think this is a feature that's here to stay for a long time. So it's good. As long as they say that they're working on it, then I know it's like not something that's going to end up like Vanish, where we ask for a change and we wait like 8 years and they finally do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that needed to be fixed forever. All right. So we're going to close it up here and sign off. We wanted to get through our socials first. So at the top of this, we got our Patreon. If you want to support the show, the best way is through our Patreon here. Every bit helps us improve production and keep this going every week. The URL for that is patreon.com/lastattemptpod. And if you can't do that and don't need to donate, that's totally fine. If you find us on Spotify or Apple, and that's how you're listening to this, we appreciate a 5-star review and dropping a rating in there and some comments. We do like to read all of those if you leave them, and or maybe you have a question and you don't want to join the Discord, you can leave them there, and we'll collect them up and we'll have a little section on the podcast so we can announce those and ask those, and we can go over them and answer your questions. You can find us on YouTube if you're watching this there. Remember to subscribe, like, leave a comment as well. Same thing. And for our socials, we are at Last Attempt Pod at Twitter. Actually, it's X. X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and also YouTube. Same, Last Attempt Pod. And our Discord link, you can find it in the description. For our raid nights, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I typically stream. I haven't this last week, been really busy, haven't even played WoW, but we haven't been raiding. We've got another lockout until that happens, but this week I'll probably be on. That's twitch.tv/Squirrelthug_ and Templar. I believe you stream as well.
Yep, I stream our raid nights, and what I'm probably going to do is start to stream whenever we do M0s, just to show people, who we are, what we do. And my Twitch is twitch.tv/TemplarIvanhoe, and that's spelled TemplarIvanho. And come take a look. I am always a tank, pretty much, so you can see me for the tanking perspective. Squirrelthug is healer/DPS, and Shaq is also DPS. So you got plenty of different views and how we play and everything.
Yeah, and speaking of Shaq, where can we find you, buddy?
I mean, on Twitch, I'm Shakatan_360. And I don't really stream too much right now, but maybe in the future. And that's pretty much it. I don't have too many social stuffs.
All right. And that's going to be it for the week. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you guys being here. And see ya.
Later.
Laters.